This smug-looking goddess with purple hair, the dark mother goddess Heros, stares down at our boy Chen-Bai like he's absolute trash. She coldly tells him that his latest mission was a failure, which put her in a bad mood, so his reward is straight-up death. Chen-Bai completely loses his shit. He begs this arrogant bitch for another chance, reminding her that he literally completed nearly 100 missions perfectly for her in the past. But this goddess ain't hearing it. She just tells him that a lowly human has no right to demand a second chance. With a casual flick of her wrist, she completely obliterates his white demon city. Chen-Bai falls into a dark abyss, getting crushed by the falling debris. He's furious, screaming that he completed nearly 100 brutal missions for her, but one single screw-up means he gets wiped off the map. He crashes into this weird, dark, watery void surrounded by floating debris. He curses his fate, screaming that he refuses to accept this bullshit just because he's a lowly human. Suddenly, he snaps. The guy just starts laughing underwater like an absolute maniac. He screams the dark god's name, Herlis, and swears he's going to completely fuck her up. She just coldly tells him to shut his mouth as he sinks deeper into the water, feeling like this is really the end. But right as he's fading, this weird hourglass necklace he's wearing starts glowing with an insane bright light. The dude suddenly gasps for air, shooting up from his bed, drenched in sweat. He looks around, totally confused. He isn't dead. He's sitting on the top bunk of his old college dorm room. He can't wrap his head around how he got here after getting slaughtered by that crazy woman. The decades of brutal survival he just went through felt way too real to be some random nightmare. He grabs the necklace on his chest. It's an item he found 20 years after the universes were crashed into Earth. It never had any stats and was impossible to destroy, so he just kept it as a weird flex. He realizes the sand in the hourglass, which was always stuck at the bottom, is now sitting at the top. The damn thing actually reversed time. He snatches his phone and checks the date, June 5, 2032. He's been sent back exactly 10 days before the universe will drops the apocalypse on humanity. He starts monologuing the future. In exactly 10 days, the universes will descend and an apocalyptic trial kicks off. Right off the bat, 90% of humanity gets wiped out. The dead don't stay dead. They mutate into horrifying zombies and twisted monsters. Military guns, tanks, rockets. All of it becomes completely useless. In just one single day, the entire world turns into a literal hell on Earth. But surviving this nightmare comes with a perk. The survivors awaken special talents. Dungeons, epic weapons, and magical gear spawn all over the planet. These overpowered drops immediately attract the attention of actual gods. Since the gods can't directly interfere with the Earth's trials, they act like sketchy mob bosses, offering protection to lure humans into doing their dirty work and stealing the loot. In his past life, our guy was weak. He sacrificed everything and suffered like hell just to join Herlis's faction. He busted his ass doing her dirty work to raise his rank, but the second he failed one mission, she threw him away like garbage. He scrolls through his phone and spots a news article about a corpse waking up during an autopsy in his city, plus a hospital outbreak where patients are going rabid and biting people. The media thinks it's a new rabies strain or some movie zombie virus. The dude's eyes go cold. He vows that in this life, he is going to get insanely overpowered. He refuses to ever be a pawn for anyone, human or god. He swears he's going to get so strong he'll crush the gods under his boots, telling Herlis she better watch her back. He remembers a massive secret from his past life. 10 years into the apocalypse, someone discovered a glitch to upgrade your innate talent. Apparently, your talent actually goes active 10 days before the trial officially begins. If you trigger it and train it now, it levels up. We cut to him stalking down a hospital corridor in a hoodie and mask. His past life talent was a garbage E rank, virus resistance. To pull off this crazy upgrade exploit, he needs to infect himself with a deadly virus immediately. He overhears a doctor and a thick-thighed nurse talking about a patient with bizarre, unprecedented symptoms. The nurse mentions the guy looks exactly like a zombie from a horror movie. Our guy peeks through the door window. The patient is strapped to the bed, violently thrashing around with nasty purple veins bulging out of his neck. He immediately recognizes it as a legit zombie. Fast forward, our guy is straight up drawing a syringe full of infected blood out of the zombie's arm. He knows that to trigger his virus resistance, he has to go extreme. Back in his dorm, he mentions his roommates are out pulling an all-nighter, giving him the perfect privacy for this insane stunt. He holds the needle, hesitating for a split second. He knows that if that rumor was bullshit, injecting this zombie blood means he's just committing suicide right here. But he gets pissed off just thinking about it. In his past life, his weak E-rank talent made him a pathetic loser for decades. He screams that he refuses to live like a weakling again. If he has to be weak, he'd rather just die trying to get strong. He crashes onto the floor, totally paralyzed by the pain. In his mind, he hallucinates that purple-haired goddess floating over him, mocking him, telling him to give up and surrender to the darkness like the lowly human he is. But our guy is built different. He forces himself up from the floor, his face completely covered in popping veins. He growls Herlis's name, swearing he will conquer her and absolutely refusing to die in this damn dorm room. Cut to the next morning outside the dorm. His 3 roommates are dragging their feet back to the room, complaining about being exhausted and wondering if our boy is still asleep. They swing the door open, expecting a normal morning. Instead, they find him standing there looking like a literal demon, eyes glowing white, blood dripping from his mouth, and purple veins covering his entire neck and face. The roommates completely lose their shit, screaming in pure terror. They back away frantically, one of them even grabbing a mop like it's gonna do anything. The guy realizes he looks like a monster. The veins slowly start to fade as he casually greets them like nothing happened, brushing right past the terrified squad to go wash his face. In the bathroom, he looks in the mirror and breaks into a massive cocky grin. It actually worked! The zombie virus didn't kill him, which means his talent successfully defended his body and upgraded. He can't wait to see what rank it hit. Suddenly, a glowing purple system interface materializes in front of him. The voice of the universe will announces that he has been chosen as a pioneer for awakening early. He smirks, recognizing the cosmic voice, and immediately opens up his new title screen. The Pioneer title is absolutely busted for the early game. It gives him a flat 5% boost to all stats, 10% extra experience gain, and lets him access his attribute panel way before anyone else. He's hyped about the crazy percentage buffs. Next, he opens his talent panel to see what he actually got. This massive, terrifying dark purple aura shaped like a demonic beast explodes behind him. His talent didn't just upgrade. It skyrocketed to the absolute max level, SSS rank, Virus Monarch. He explains just how broken this is. As the Virus Monarch, he has the ultimate mastery over all diseases. He can absorb them, weaponize them, modify their genetic code, and even create entirely new custom viruses from scratch. But since he's just starting out, he only has access to the basic virus absorbability, and the range is super short. To unlock the crazy god-tier powers, he needs to farm a massive amount of virus strains right now. Knowing exactly where to go, he heads straight for Zhangcheng First Hospital, naturally the best place to harvest a buffet of deadly viruses. By the time he arrives, the hospital is already in pure chaos. People are screaming and sprinting out of the building as patients randomly mutate and attack them. Chen Bai watches the panic, remembering that in his past life, this hospital outbreak was one of the 3 major bizarre incidents that the military had to violently lock down right before the apocalypse officially started. A terrified guy runs out the front doors with a snarling zombie hot on his heels. Chen Bai just smirks, noting he arrived at the perfect time. Instead of running, Chen Bai lunges forward, casually leaping past the fleeing civilian. He grabs the zombie straight by the face with one hand and ruthlessly slams it into the pavement, pinning it down like it's nothing. Using his new virus absorption skill, thick purple lightning crackles from the zombie's head into Chen Bai's hand. He completely drains the zombie virus out of it, gaining 1 virus point to use for upgrades. With a psycho grin, he declares that not a single one of them is escaping today. Meanwhile, up on the 4th floor, the situation is looking grim. A doctor named Lu Feng and a pink-haired nurse named Su Xin are cowering inside a restroom stall while a zombie violently bashes against the door. Lu Feng is sweating bullets, panicking that the door is going to break and they're both going to die. Su Xin is crying her eyes out, desperately calling for her superiors. Suddenly, Lu Feng's fear turns into straight-up predatory creepiness. He looks at Su Xin and complains that he chased her for so long and she never gave him the time of day. Since they are about to get eaten anyway, this absolute scumbag decides he wants a quick thrill before he dies and lunges at her. Su Xin screams and shoves him off, asking if he's lost his damn mind. Right on cue, the zombie smashes through the stall door. Lu Feng instantly drops the tough guy creep act and screams that he doesn't want to die. Proving he's the biggest coward on Earth, Lu Feng literally grabs Su Xin and hurls her straight into the zombie's jaws to use her as bait, leaving her to get ripped apart. He leaps out the window thinking he's made a genius escape. Cut to Chen Bai, he's also arrived at the 4th floor. He completely ignores the dead idiot, noting the situation looks a bit tragic. Entering the 4th floor bathroom, Chen Bai finds the zombies already dealt with, but Su Xin is lying unconscious on the floor, fresh bite marks on her arm. Realizing she just got bitten and hasn't fully turned yet, Chen Bai places his hand on her face and uses his talent to suck all the zombie virus right out of her bloodstream. He needs a guide who knows the hospital layout before the military quarantines the building, so keeping her alive is actually useful. Su Xin gasps and opens her eyes. The extraction worked. She realizes he just saved her life and sincerely thanks him. Chen Bai notes she hasn't lost her mind. Before she can fully process everything, he tells her he needs a favor. She agrees but awkwardly asks for a second to find a new shirt since hers got ripped open in the struggle. Chen Bai has zero time for modesty. He grabs her wrist and drags her out, ordering her to take him to wherever the hospital stores the most viruses. She guides him to the testing and inspection department, explaining that every patient's clinical sample gets sent here for processing. Chen Bai immediately starts popping open test tubes and pouring various infected blood samples into a large beaker. Su Xin asks what the hell he's doing, but he just tells her to shut up and watch. He activates his talent and places his hand over the beaker. System prompts flood his vision. He absorbs the hepatitis virus for 10 points, influenza for 0.7 points, herpes zoster for 9 points, and finally the HIV virus for another 10 points. Absolute menace behavior just to farm stats. With his virus points stacked up, he opens his evolution menu to upgrade his base zombie virus. The system gives him multiple evolution paths. He skips the basic ones and goes straight for the most broken option, the Blacklight virus. Evolving into Blacklight gives him a flat plus 10 to all attributes, a massive 200% boost to his natural regeneration, and unlocks a terrifying core ability called Evolutionary Devour. Basically, he can now consume biological matter to evolve. Just as he finishes the upgrade, Sujin screams as a stray zombie bursts into the lab. The zombie lunges at him, but Chenbai effortlessly sidesteps it. He notes that with his new stats, his speed is insane, and the 150-pound zombie feels like it's moving in slow motion. He decides to test out his new toy. He grabs the zombie by the throat, and massive, writhing black tendrils erupt from his arm. The tendrils violently wrap around the zombie's screaming face and body, completely devouring it into Chenbai's own biomass. The assimilation is instant. He cracks his neck, feeling a rush of stamina return. Sushin is sitting on the floor, absolutely horrified, asking what the hell he just did. Chenbai smoothly lies, telling her not to worry about it. She promises to keep his terrifying powers a secret since he saved her life. They quickly exchange names. Outside, heavy sirens start blaring. The military and police have officially arrived and are locking down the entire perimeter to clear the infected. Chenbai grabs Sushin again and tells her they need to head for the roof immediately. She's confused, asking why they can't just walk out the front door since neither of them is infected. Chenbai bluntly states he has no time to be detained and interrogated by the government. As they run down the hallway, a massive, muscular, pale-skinned mutant zombie suddenly drops from the ceiling right in front of them. Sujin screams at the terrifying sight of this hulking beast with razor-sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. Chenbai isn't scared. He's actually hyped. He smirks, calling the monster interesting. He realizes it's an early variant and wonders just how much stronger his blacklight virus will get if he eats this big boy. The mutant doesn't wait around and aggressively charges him. The beast is fast, but Chenbai is faster. He dodges the heavy swipe, kicks its head from behind, but it's completely fine and counters back, making him retreat. He notes that this guy's state is no worse than his. He then starts to attack again, using his purple virus energy to strike and smoothly lands a hit on its breast, wondering if it's dead. But it suddenly erupts again, roaring at him. Chenbai realizes that his bare hands aren't going to do enough burst damage to put this tank down quickly. Seeing him struggle, Sushin actually makes herself useful. She grabs a fire extinguisher, smashes open an emergency glass case, and yanks out a red fire axe. She yells Chenbai's name and hurls it down the hallway. As the mutant roars and charges forward again, Chenbai catches the axe midair with a savage grin, praising her for a good job and announcing he'll finish this shit quickly. With a cocky grin, he taunts the beast, telling it to bring it on, before slamming his red fire axe straight into the monster's crotch. Yeah, a literal nut shot. With the monster on its knees, Chenbai smirks, noting the damn thing still has a breath left. Knowing better than to leave an enemy at 1 HP, because we all know dumbasses who don't double tap end up in an early grave, he raises his axe to finish the job. But right as he brings the axe down, the mutant suddenly flares up with glowing red energy and backhands him with brutal force. A pink-haired nurse named Sushin watches in absolute terror, screaming his name, but Chenbai just brushes it off, bleeding from the mouth. Instead of panicking, this crazy bastard is actually smiling. He mutters that it's great the monster didn't run away. As the mutant roars and lunges for the kill, Chenbai doesn't even flinch. He unleashes his new devouring skill. Thick, dark purple tentacles explode violently from his chest, piercing and wrapping around the charging monster. He grins like an absolute psycho, mocking the beast. Now you know fear? Too late. Sujin stares in shock, asking if he actually won. Meanwhile, the system chimes in his head, confirming the devour process is complete. He just absorbed a stage 2 mutant zombie, and his blacklight virus is officially evolving. His hands crackle with purple energy as they morph into razor-sharp bone claws. Chenbai flexes his new deadly weapons, smugly declaring that picking the blacklight virus was definitely the right choice. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echo through the hall. A fully armed tactical squad storms in with riot shields and assault rifles, aiming right at him and ordering him to put his hands up. Chenbai is completely unbothered, just annoyed that these guys showed up so damn fast. The squad leader starts counting down from 3, threatening to open fire if he doesn't comply. Before the guy even hits one, Chenbai scoops up Sushin bridal style and bolts down the hall. The soldiers yell out warnings as Sushin points him toward the emergency exit on the right that leads to the roof. She quickly notices he took a bullet to the shoulder, but Chenbai just tells her to stay quiet and not move around. They burst through the roof doors, finally shaking off the heavily armed squad. Chenbai sets her down and casually asks where her place is. She nervously tells him her address in the Rongfeng residential area. Without a second thought, he grabs her again and just casually yeets himself off the edge of the skyscraper. They arrive safely at her apartment block. Sushin unlocks the door with a spare key, acting completely relieved to be alive. She points out the bathroom and insists on cleaning and treating his gunshot wound. Chenbai smoothly tells her not to worry about it, saying the bullet went clean through and the wound is already healing, but she nervously insists on checking it anyway. Cut to the bathroom. Chenbai is standing there shirtless, casually flexing his shredded 8-pack abs. Sushin immediately turns beet red, her eyes glued to his chest. She points out the scars on his stomach and chest, stuttering that they aren't fully healed yet. Seeing his opening, Chenbai decides to turn up the riz to max levels. He leans in close and whispers that if he just eats her, he'll recover immediately. Sujin tries to play it off, saying he wouldn't do that, otherwise he would have eaten her a long time ago. Chenbai corrects her, saying the only reason he didn't eat her before was because the environment wasn't right. Now, the mood is absolutely perfect. He pins her with a deep gaze and asks if she's willing to be eaten to help him recover. Completely flustered and down bad, she weakly whispers for him to wash clean first so he tastes better. Yeah, she completely surrendered. He smiles and goes in for the kiss. Fast forward, Chenbai's phone lights up on the counter. He's got messages from a guy named Zhao Mu asking where he is, warning him that the school's top beauty, Song Ge, is actively looking for him. Right on cue, a text from Songji pops up, aggressively asking if he's dead and mentioning she heard he went to the Jiangcheng First Hospital. Cut to Chenbai walking down the street carrying a bag of groceries. He's deep in thought, piecing together the bizarre events happening in Jiangcheng right before the apocalyptic trial descends. A sealed hospital, a massive explosion in the suburbs, and monsters appearing in a slaughterhouse. He realizes there's barely any intel on the upcoming apocalypse, and no one is taking it seriously, which is a massive headache. His phone rings. It's Su Xin. He tells her he bought breakfast and is heading back, but she frantically warns him that two sketchy guys are outside her door looking for him. They claim to be sent by a woman named Song Ziqiang. Chenbai's eyes widen slightly at the name. Through the peephole, Su Xin watches two intimidating men in black suits and sunglasses smoking in the hall. She tells Chenbai they look like bad news and thinks it's a total scam because Song Ziqiang is literally the reigning queen of Jiangcheng. What would someone like her want with him? Chenbai tells her to just let them wait outside. Looking at his phone, he connects the dots. Song Ziqiang is the mother of his female classmate, Song Jia. He smirks, realizing the rich girl got anxious and went crying to her mommy to find him. But the fact that this powerful woman managed to track him all the way to Su Xin's apartment means she has serious resources. He decides it's time to go meet her. We get a quick lore drop on Song Ziqiang. This woman is an absolute boss. She built her empire from scratch, dominating both the legal business world and the underground. After the apocalypse drops, she awakens a top-tier A-rank talent, rapidly builds her own massive faction, and completely dominates Jiangcheng in a three-way war. In Chenbai's past life, she was an untouchable goddess he could only look up to. But things are different this time around. He smirks, thinking that if he can conquer her and make her submit to his authority before the apocalypse fully hits, he'll have a massive advantage. Chenbai arrives at an industrial cold storage warehouse. He comes face to face with the Jiangcheng queen herself, Song Ziqiang. She's rocking a classy black dress and red coat, oozing dominance and authority. She politely apologizes for making him come all the way out here, claiming she's tied up with business. Chenbai skips the pleasantries, asking her exactly what she wants. Song Ziqiang smirks, explaining that her daughter came home panicked after hearing he went missing at the hospital, so she naturally wanted to see what kind of guy had her daughter acting so desperate. Chenbai stares her down, telling her he hates beating around the bush and demands to know her real motive. Song Ziqiang likes his bold attitude. She drops the act and straight up offers him a job, saying if he works for her and if he happens to like her daughter, becoming her son-in-law isn't completely off the table. Chenbai isn't buying her generous act. He points out she has no logical reason to recruit him. Song Ziqiang grins, saying she saw his godly performance fighting at the hospital, and anyone with a brain would want a talent like that. Chenbai is internally shocked. He distinctly remembers destroying the hospital's power and security cameras before he fought. He asks how the hell she found him so fast. Song Ziqiang smirks, telling him not to underestimate Auntie. She explains that her people easily recovered the deleted footage of him moving from the lobby to the monitoring room. Plus, she conveniently had her own spies inside the hospital the whole time. She pulls up a chat log on her phone where her subordinate texted her about a badass guy killing all the zombies. She thought her subordinate was joking until her spy sent a video of Chenbai running through the halls with Su Xin. Song Ziqiang proudly gloats that her luck is just that good. She reveals that this morning, the military pulled survivors from the quarantined hospital, and among them, she found a guy she knows very well, a guy named Lu Feng. Chenbai hears the name Lu Feng and his eyes immediately narrow. Flashback to last night with Su Xin in bed. She tells him that Lu Feng was the absolute coward hiding in her bathroom, who shoved her straight into the jaws of a zombie, just so he could make a run for it. She completely hates his guts and wishes he was dead. Back in the present, Chenbai demands to know where the isolated survivors are. Song Ziqiang hits him with a flirty ultimatum. Be my man, and I'll tell you. Chenbai smirks, firing back that Auntie Song is seriously underestimating him. She tries to sweeten the pot, saying she has a lot more to offer, but Chenbai cuts her off completely. He tells her she's got it all wrong. She doesn't know nearly enough about him, because if she did, she'd know he isn't the type to ever work under anyone. Flexing his absolute dominance, his arms violently mutate into dark purple, razor-sharp claws. He stares her down and flips the script, demanding that she become his subordinate instead. Song Ziqiang and her bodyguard are stunned, assuming he's just infected with a mutated zombie strain. Chenbai smugly corrects them. Wrong. Submit to me, and I'll tell you exactly what this is. But the Queen of Jiangcheng didn't get to the top by being a pushover. She keeps her cool, smiling as she tells him some flashy claws aren't nearly enough to make her kneel. Besides, she playfully roasts him, asking why he's hitting on an old auntie when he already has a young, pretty nurse waiting at home. Chenbai instantly closes the distance, dropping the riz to dangerous levels. He leans in close and whispers that no one could resist a mature, beautiful woman like her. He bluntly states that in the remaining days before the apocalypse officially drops, her resources and power are infinitely more useful to him than Su Xin. Song Ziqiang catches on to his exact wording. Apocalypse? She thinks this is just a localized outbreak with a few zombies. Chenbai scoffs like she just told a terrible joke. He calls the current zombies absolute trash that don't even qualify as foreplay for what's coming. Realizing he holds vital intel about the future, Song Zikyong knows she can't just buy him out. She proposes a compromise, a partnership. Her resources for his information. Chen Bai thinks it over, admitting to himself that taming the Queen of Jiangcheng won't happen overnight. He accepts the deal, but before they can even shake on it, rapid gunshots echo through the warehouse district. Song Zikyong looks pissed. She explains that last night, the local military, led by Commander Zhao, hijacked part of her cold storage facility to freeze live zombies and house the rescued survivors. But something isn't adding up. She notes that the extreme cold makes the 30-something zombies completely sluggish and immobile, so there's zero reason for a heavy firefight when half a military company is stationed there. Chen Bai immediately figures it out. The military idiots realize the cold slows zombies down, but they had no clue that extreme environments drastically spike the mutation rate. Checking his map, he realizes this exact cold storage is the site of a massive suburb explosion from his past life memories. A giant mutant is about to be born, and this crazy bastard just smiles, genuinely excited to see what kind of monster he gets to kill today. They sprint toward the chaos. Outside, the situation is a complete shit show. One soldier manages to chuck a red explosive canister straight down its throat. They dive for cover as a massive explosion rocks the facility. The squad celebrates, thinking they blew it to hell, but as the smoke clears, the meat mountain is literally unfazed and lets out a terrifying roar. The soldiers absolutely panic. Commander Zhao, realizing their weapons are entirely useless, orders his men to scatter and play decoy until backup arrives. It's a total suicide mission. Enter Song Zikyong walking into the active war zone like she owns the place. She flat out orders Commander Zhao to have his men cease fire and pull back. When Zhao questions her, she casually roasts his entire squad, telling him to stop throwing his men's lives away because they can't even scratch the beast. She tells them to just escort her staff and the survivors out of there. Zhao argues that the monster is too fast, but Song completely ignores him, casually stating that her partner is going to handle it. A girl's about to get smashed to pieces by it, but Chen Bai quickly stops it with his hand by force. He gets a feel for its weight and realizes a head-on physical brawl is a bad idea since the thing is built like a tank. The monster tries to attack him instead, but he easily dodges a massive swing from the beast and slashes its arm instead, taunting it for being too damn slow. When it can't do anything to him, it turns around and smashes into the warehouse, grabbing a massive pile of frozen beef to heal itself. Watching from the sidelines, Commander Zhao is losing his mind, asking Song if she's raising monsters. She proudly smirks, claiming Chen Bai as her business partner. Seeing the monster trying to get a mid-fight snack, Chen Bai is deeply offended. He yells that letting the beast eat is a total waste of good food. He plunges his purple tentacles directly into the meat pile and the monster's mouth, activating his devour ability. Chen Bai smirks, praising the high-quality beef for the free stat boost. The monster is absolutely furious that its meal got hijacked. It starts attacking him like crazy, but Chen Bai still easily dodges and sprouts his dark claw. He grins like a menace, declaring it's time for the beast to die. He instantly crushes the monster face first into the pavement. As it struggles to move, Chen Bai mercilessly impales it with his tentacles to begin the final devour. Watching a human violently absorb a giant mutant breaks Commander Zhao's brain. Sweating and panicked, he yells into his radio that they can't let these monsters live. He requests an immediate tactical missile strike on their coordinates. But before he can call it in, Song Zikyong steps up and places a firm, threatening hand on his shoulder. She coldly tells him to use his brain. Chen Bai just saved their lives, and ordering a strike on him would be the stupidest mistake of his life. 10 minutes later, the dust has settled. A perimeter of heavily armed soldiers and snipers have all their weapons trained directly on Chen Bai. As he finishes his meal and stands up, Song Zikyong stands next to Commander Zhao, reminding him to keep his word. Sweating under the intense pressure, Zhao agrees. As long as Chen Bai doesn't make a hostile move, he won't give the order to open fire. The system rings off as Chen Bai officially bags his first Meat Mountain zombie kill. He snags 500 virus points and finally unlocks his Virus Monarch talent, giving him the sweet ability to inject his virus into others. After completely consuming that massive mutant, the system lets him know his Blacklight virus abilities just got a massive boost. He unlocks the Strength Form's Heavy Hammer, and his entire right arm violently mutates into a huge spiked purple wrecking ball. Chen Bai stares at his new weapon, feeling the absolutely insane power coursing through him. He's practically itching to test it out but sighs, realizing there's nothing around left to smash. But hey, at least he scored the biggest loot of the day, the Meat Mountain core. This rare drop is perfect for crafting gear, or if he figures out how to control it, he could literally build an infinite growing flesh wall. He actually smirks, thinking about feeding the core just to grow another meat mountain so he can have a punching bag. Absolute psycho behavior, but you gotta respect the grind. Meanwhile, Song Zikyong introduces him to Lu Li, the famous reporter and influencer. Chen Bai notes she was the one who secretly filmed him back at the hospital. She stutters like a nervous wreck, thanking him for saving her life twice. Chen Bai brushes it off like it was nothing, and casually asks if she managed to get a recording of him slaughtering that meat mountain. She panics, apologizing for her professional habits, and offers to delete it immediately. But Chen Bai just tells her to keep it, saying he's got a use for it later. Suddenly, Commander Zhao demands that Chen Bai report everything he knows to their boss, Commander Huang Xingqiu. Hearing that name instantly triggers a dark flashback for Chen Bai. In his past life, Huang was a total piece of shit who gathered up weak awakened survivors and worked them like dogs. He'd start with all that patriotic bullshit to hype them up, and then switch to just abusing and degrading them. Chen Bai was one of those miserable grunts, working his ass off and not even getting a full meal for it. And the kicker? Anyone who tried to escape got hunted down and executed for treason. That's exactly why he was forced to bounce from Jiangcheng in the first place. So naturally, when the officer asks if he'll go report, Chen Bai looks at him like he's stupid and flat out refuses. Ziqiang steps in, asking if she should handle this mess for him. Chen Bai gives her the green light. Ziqiang struts up to the officer, radiating absolute boss bitch energy, and tells him to cut the bureaucratic crap. She basically calls him a low-ranking nobody and tells him to pass a message to his precious commander Huang. If he has a problem, he can come find her himself. The officer looks like he's about to pop a blood vessel, but before he can do anything, a subordinate runs over panicking, saying the quarantine people are causing a huge scene. Chen Bai's ears perk up. He asks if there's a loudmouth named Lu Feng in that quarantine group. The subordinate confirms Lu Feng is the one making the most noise. Chen Bai demands they bring him over. This arrogant prick Lu Feng walks over, looking smug as hell, actually thinking his vice director daddy pulled some strings to get him out. Chen Bai casually places his hand on the guy's shoulder and secretly pumps him full of the zombie virus. He leans in and tells Lu Feng that someone asked him to pass on a message. Su Xin. Lu Feng is completely clueless until Chen Bai reminds him that he pushed her into a horde of zombies, and now she wants him dead. Lu Feng starts sweating bullets, wondering how the hell she's still alive. Chen Bai then tells everyone to back the fuck up because this idiot is about to turn into a zombie. Lu Feng starts screaming, accusing Chen Bai of framing him, but he doesn't even get to finish his tantrum before the virus takes over. Disgusting purple veins bulge out of his face, and he mutates right on the spot. He lunges at Chen Bai, thinking he's tough shit now, but Chen Bai doesn't even flinch. He morphs his arm into that giant purple hammer and obliterates Lu Feng against the wall with a single devastating punch. The commander is left standing there, looking like he just shit his pants, muttering about how Chen Bai is Superman. Chen Bai just admires his hammer, pretty satisfied that it hits even harder than he thought. He turns to Ziqiang, telling her she passed his little test and promises to share some intel with her later. She gets all close, telling him to drop the formal titles and call her Sister Song or Ziqiang. She makes it clear she's tired of just being business partners. She wants to be his woman. Chen Bai just smirks at her bold move, telling her that completely depends on her value and future performance. They hit the road in her car, and she invites him over to her place for dinner. He agrees but warns her not to bother him during the ride. Time to check the loot. Chen Bai opens his inventory to see what that meat mountain dropped. Turns out he scored 2 skill books. First up is Bloodthirsty Frenzy. It gives a +3 to all stats for 10 minutes, which sounds great until he sees the catch. A 50% stat drop during the 1-day cooldown. He immediately calls it trash, knowing the massive drawback isn't worth the risk. Next is Muscle Proliferation. It's a passive that gives a massive boost to muscle mass and double strength and constitution growth. He rejects this one too. From his past life, he knows anyone who used this just turned into a clunky, muscle-bound freak and lost all their agility. Even though these books are useless to him, he knows they're absolute gold in the early stages of the apocalypse, perfect for building up a faction or buying people's loyalty. Speaking of factions, he decides it's time to start making moves. He checks his balance and sees he got 6 gold coins from the boss kill. That's just enough to create a chat group. He drops 5 gold to establish chat group 01. His plan is to gather early awakened players, the pioneers, and help them build a solid foundation. He knows exactly how messy the late-game faction wars get, so setting up connections now is a massive brain play. He remembers that bitch Herlos. He vows to rebuild his White Emperor city and turn it into a divine kingdom, while making damn sure Herlos ends up as nothing more than a pathetic dog at his feet. They finally arrive at Ziqiang's luxurious private villa. Chen Bai gets comfortable and drops the hard truth on her. He explains that the cosmic trial is going to turn over 90% of humanity into literal monsters, while the survivors will become evolved beings with talents. He casually adds that firearms and almost all electronic devices are going to become completely useless. He finishes his info dump, figuring this should be more than enough for her to prep and get a massive head start. But Ziqiang isn't satisfied with just getting a heads up. She wants the real deal. She looks him dead in the eye and asks what it actually takes to become his woman. Chen Bai doesn't sugarcoat it. He lays down 2 absolute rules. First, you gotta be useful. He doesn't run a charity for useless trash. Second, loyalty. And not just regular loyalty, he expects absolute, dog-like obedience to her master. Ziqiang takes the loyalty demand without blinking. As for her usefulness, she proudly steps up, flexing her massive wealth, status, and power, acting like she's the undisputed queen of Jiangcheng that nobody can match. Chen Bai completely shatters her ego on the spot. He coldly tells her that when the apocalypse fully hits, the rules change, and her precious money and status won't mean absolute shit. He straight up roasts her, saying that aside from the twisted appeal of enslaving a high society snob, she currently has 0 actual value. But then he drops the real pitch. The difference is, he's offering her a stage to unleash her true potential. Unlike other weak, insecure leaders, he'll never suppress her out of fear, because he will always be vastly stronger than her. Realizing she's standing in front of the ultimate carry, Ziqiang instantly drops the pride. She literally sinks to her knees at his feet, looking up at him and calling him master. Chen Bai internally celebrates. Breaking the pride of someone with her reputation gives him some serious emotional satisfaction. He tells her it's time to show him what she's really capable of, mentioning he's got some errands for her to run. The scene cuts to Zekyung's green-haired subordinate, Schwanger, who tracks down Lu Li. She tells the reporter that Boss Song wants the video file of Chen Bai. After securing the footage, she tells Lu Li to head home and rest to recover from all the near-death trauma. Lu Li asks if there's anything else she can help with, but Schwanger insists she just takes a break and calms her nerves. Walking outside, Lu Li checks her phone and realizes something crazy. Despite almost getting ripped apart by zombies again, the panic wasn't nearly as bad this time. She wonders if she's just getting used to it, or if Chen Bai's absolute powerhouse energy just makes her feel completely untouchable. Meanwhile, Chen Bai is holding Zekyung's phone when it rings. It's her spoiled daughter, Songgae. Songgae starts complaining immediately, asking her mom why she's being told to go home. But instead of her mom's voice, she gets Chen Bai's deep tone answering the phone. She freaks out, demanding to know why he has her mom's phone and where she is. Chen Bai puts on his best villain smirk and blatantly lies with a wild double meaning, saying her mom is currently working and eating at the same time and has no time to talk. He tells her to get her ass home because it's important. Song Ji huffs, telling him to wait for her and whining that he always ignores her messages. When the call drops, she actually blushes and mutters that she'll make him fall for her eventually. Completely delusional, but okay. Back at the villa, Zekyung is still kneeling, resting her hand on his leg with puppy dog eyes. She asks if he can extend his protection to her daughter too, openly admitting the girl lacks ability and is spoiled rotten. Chen Bai casually tells her that as long as she works hard enough, he'll guarantee the brat doesn't turn into a rotting mutant when the trial drops. Zekyung blushes hard, thanking her new master. Fast forward, the crew pulls up to a sketchy, abandoned warehouse out in the suburbs. Song Ji is still whining in the car, asking her mom why they are here and if she seriously bought into Chen Bai's apocalyptic bullshit. Sichong coldly tells her that this is exactly why she stopped her from bothering Chen Bai last night. She orders her daughter to shut up and just watch once they step out. Outside, Schwanger gives Chen Bai the rundown. She scouted the whole city for monster rumors and found this spot, an underground casino where the dealers and gamblers mutated into around 160 zombies. She notes there are no signs of a special meat mountain, though Chen Bai corrects her immediately. This isn't just a random outbreak, it's a dedicated zombie slaughterhouse. Meat mountains usually spawn in tight indoor places like hospitals because they're extremely hard to kill, and this location is way too remote for any info to leak out organically. He realizes someone else out there is actively hoarding zombies. While the military is pissing their pants over a few dozen, some absolute madman is farming them. Chen Bai is actually impressed, wondering if he's dealing with a crazy brave survivor or another pioneer who knows the future. He's looking forward to finding out. He gives the order to open the warehouse doors and tells the men to prep for battle. The second the metal doors crack open, a zombie violently lunges out, scaring the absolute crap out of the Singson and Song. Chen Bai gets straight to work, effortlessly slaughtering his way through and absorbing the viruses from the corpses. The system chimes in, announcing he's officially surpassed 300 zombie kills. He unlocks the Zombie Hunter E title, granting a sweet +5 to all stats and a 5% damage boost against all zombie types. Not only that, but he hits 500 portions of collected zombie virus. This lets him unlock the highly coveted zombie virus serum recipe from his talent tree. Chen Bai is hyped. This serum is top-tier loot. Even awakened players with talent suffer from virus infections unless they have crazy immunity passives, making this recipe incredibly valuable. With the immediate area secured, he calls Zekyung and her squad inside. He gives them the ultimate pro tip he mentioned before leaving. Killing zombies with cold weapons massively drops the chance of mutating when the trial fully starts. And if you kill them barehanded, zero chance of turning into a monster. He challenges them to prove their worth. Casually holding a snarling zombie by the throat with one hand, he asks who's stepping up first. Schwanger doesn't even hesitate. She claims it, and Chen Bai violently tosses the zombie right at her. She catches it mid-air, executes a flawless flip, and brutally slams the zombie headfirst into the concrete, instantly shattering its neck. Chen Bai gives a nod of approval, genuinely impressed by her fast speed and perfectly ruthless execution.